What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Wow, that's all I can really say. Just got finished watching an interview with Bob Arum and Radio Raheem, and he was just speaking on various issues. I know it's a recent interview because they were talking about Timothy Bradley versus Ruslan Provodnikov after post-fight. So obviously it's a more recent interview because that fight just took place. Realistically, the people that were asking, like, wondering, oh, Golden Boy, do you think they'll work with Top Rank? I really don't see it, especially in the near future. It looks very, very bleak. The level of venom and vitriol that both companies spew at each other, you could tell it's a deep, deep-rooted hatred, and I don't really see them working together in the foreseeable future. It's just that level of animosity towards companies. HBO and Showtime looks like they're going heads up. HBO's mad that certain fighters and Mayweather and different people are going to Showtime. They're fighting for ratings. HBO's saying they're not hosting any Golden Boy fights. It's just a big mess. So it's basically World War III in the boxing world. As far as Bob Arum, some of the stuff he was saying, majority of the stuff he was saying, I wholeheartedly disagree with. I'm not going to talk too much because I want you guys to hear the interview, but I just disagree. He was basically trying to say that having two fights from the rival companies, Golden Boy and Top Rank, on the same night doesn't put fans in a predicament and it doesn't force people to pick. He said, oh, people are smart. They're savvy. They got a DVR. I mean, it's still forcing the fan to choose, just like they did with Chavez Jr. and Martinez versus Canelo and Josecito. It's still a decision that has to be made. I did exactly what he did, or what he said is DVR'd it, but I did that out of necessity. I would have rather watched them both live because I was getting, I subscribed to some sports apps on my phone, so they send me notifications like Maidana beats Jesus Soto Caras, and it'll send me notifications. So if there were only one fight per company, I wouldn't have got no notification while I'm watching Martinez versus Chavez Jr. saying Maidana won. And I just don't agree with that. I don't think it's right for the fans to have to choose between two fights that they want to see on the same night just because you want to go heads up and because you're too stubborn to remove your date. So that's for Top Rank and Golden Boy. I don't like that. He also said things like Golden Boy's stable. They don't have any interesting fighters. So basically they're not willing to make any fights with Golden Boy because their fighters are uninteresting. I don't see how you could say that, especially when Golden Boy has people like Lucas Matisse, Adrian Broner, Austin Trout, Canelo. They work with Mayweather, Danny Garcia. I mean, I don't see how you can honestly fix your mouth to say that. I would love to see Abner Mars, or the winner of Abner Mars and Ponce de Leon, fight Nonito. Nonito's talking about moving up his next fight if he gets past Rigo. I would love to see that fight. Brandon Rios and Adrian Broner, I would love to see it. Actually, anybody at 140, Lucas Matisse, Lamont Peterson, Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios, I would love to see all of those fights. So to say that Golden Boy doesn't have anything interesting or anyone interesting, I think you're in denial. There's plenty of fights that fight fans would love to see interchanging the two companies. So let me know what you guys think. I think Bob Arum's full of shit with this interview. Last couple of interviews I've seen him, he's been like extra cranky. But let me know what you guys think. Who has the better fighters, Golden Boy or Top Rank? What do you think of Bob Arum? Take a listen to the interview. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.
There are so many matchups, and there are also a lot of matchups out there that the boxing fans never get tired of wishing they could see. Now, your Cold War, if you want to call it that, with Golden Boy has prevented some fights that the fans are definitely calling for. And now in this recent week, we've seen HBO decide that they won't be doing business with Golden Boy. What are your thoughts on that development and how that affects the fight game?
Well, Showtime won't do business with any other promoter other than Golden Boy. So Golden Boy is only excluded from HBO. No other promoter is excluded from HBO. And besides, I don't see the fans demanding any particular fight that isn't happening. That's just not true. You know, the fighters that they have, by and large, are fighters that we don't find very interesting. And if they find some of our fighters interesting, well, that's just too bad. I mean, if they want to release a fighter or give fighter permission to fight on HBO, we're very happy to do it. But make no mistake about it, we're a company that's affiliated with HBO, period. Just the way every other promoter in boxing is affiliated with HBO.
Now, what we've seen last year, especially on September 15th, with Martinez, basically counter-programmed against Canelo Alvarez. Now that this split has happened officially, if you will, are we going to see more programming like that, where you guys, you look on the same date to split the fans, split the baby, if you will?
Well, that's sort of ridiculous. That's old school. I mean, everybody has a DVR. Everybody can tape one fight and watch the other. There's no conflict if both networks go on the same date. Fans will watch both fights, as was demonstrated on September 15th. The Martinez Chavez pay-per-view was off the chart, and Canelo in his fight, they did a very good rating for Showtime. People are very sophisticated now. They don't have to watch both fights live.
Well, but networks live for ratings, so we know that ratings matter, and if you have two things on the same time, on the same night, you can't watch them at the same time. Someone's going to have to choose. What I'm saying is that a strategy or an angle that you're going to persist with?
It just shows that you're not up and don't understand the ratings. Because if you DVR a fight, that counts as a viewer, right? So your idea of what the ratings are or aren't is totally preposterous.
You can't be in two places at one time physically. You can. Most people won't buy two pay-per-views on the same night and DVR one. I mean, I don't want to get into the weeds, but that's what networks do. Everybody's got a DVR, but networks still fight over ratings. What I'm saying is, if you're going to put them on the same night or not, you're saying that has no bearing whatsoever. These things are coincidences.
No, I think it enhances the ratings and the pay-per-view for both. That's what happened on September 15th. The fact that they were both going the same night. Showtime got a very good rating. A lot of people DVR'd it and watched our fight on pay-per-view live. And as far as two pay-per-view fights the same night, well, in-demand DirecTV and Dish will not approve that. So that's not a factor. I mean, be real. Don't drink the crap that you're being fed by people who can't compete.
Who are the people who can't compete?
Well, who is? Like the people who cry all the time, like Little Oscar and the Golden Boy Company. I mean, we're not crying. They can do whatever they want. We don't care if they put a fight against us. Doesn't mean anything.